Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be doing something really fascinating today. We are taking advanced C1 level English grammar and turning it into, well, basically a survival tool for the corporate world. Think of this as a masterclass in professional diplomacy. We're going to take some of the most advanced grammatical structures out there, specifically advanced passive voice and impersonal structures, and show you exactly how they act as the ultimate corporate shield. Because, whether you're drafting a really intense external audit, writing a highly sensitive legal document, or honestly just trying to navigate a tricky email thread without making any enemies, the language you use is literally your first line of defense. So let's dive right in and transform how you handle executive communication.
Okay, let's contrast two very different ways of saying the exact same thing. Listen to this first sentence. Fulanito leaked the data. It's direct, it's punchy, right? But here's the thing. In a high-stakes corporate environment, that is absolutely the kind of sentence that gets you sued. It points a massive, subjective finger right at someone. Now listen to this polished version. The data is rumored to have been leaked. Notice the shift there? The target on Fulanito's back is completely gone. The core fact is still there, but the emotional liability? Totally neutralized. Honestly, mastering that second sentence is what gets you promoted. It just radiates discretion, objectivity, and a really profound command of professional register.
So here's our quick roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll start with the corporate dilemma, then build the professional shield. From there, we'll map out advanced passive patterns, diagnose a few common issues in the error clinic, and wrap it all up with the transformation challenge.
All right, kicking things off with part one, the corporate dilemma.
To truly appreciate why this advanced grammar is such a game changer, we have to look at where it's actually used. We're talking about the incredibly sensitive world of external audit reports, executive summaries, you name it. In these environments, using a standard active voice is a massive liability. If you write something direct like, the CEO made an error, you run this huge risk of sounding completely accusatory. People immediately get defensive. In corporate reporting, there's a non-negotiable need for absolute objectivity. Remember, you aren't reporting your feelings, you're reporting the findings. Plus, as the auditor or the writer, you frequently need to protect the identity of your source or even yourself. Using blunt, subjective language here, it's just unprofessional. It compromises the impartiality of the whole report and honestly leaves you dangerously exposed.
Moving right along to section two, the professional shield.
So, how do we actually protect ourselves while maintaining that pristine level of objectivity? Well, it's time to meet your new best friend, the impersonal it. Now, this is a formal grammatical structure that simply uses it is followed by a passive reporting verb, and its entire job is to convey information completely impersonally. Think about it. When you start a sentence with it, you instantly suck all the emotion right out of the room. You're removing the I, the we, the they. You aren't giving an opinion anymore. You are stating a universally recognized condition. It really is the ultimate professional shield. It guarantees impartiality and just instantly elevates the tone of whatever document you're drafting.
Let's actually hear what this sounds like in practice. It is widely acknowledged that, or it has been brought to our attention that. Can you feel the weight and authority in those words? By pulling directly from high-level C1 academic and journalistic contexts, we can clearly see how the impersonal it works its magic. Instead of saying, I think the project is failing, you say, it is widely acknowledged that the project faces severe challenges. Instead of, someone told you messed up, you say, it has been brought to our attention that protocols were bypassed. It's elegant, it's virtually unassailable, and it's just perfectly diplomatic.
All right, section 3, advanced passive patterns.
Okay, now that we get the why, let's look under the hood at the actual mechanics. It's almost like a formula. You take a subject, add a passive reporting verb, and then here is where that C1 magic happens, you attach a perfect or continuous infinitive. Take a look at the first example. He plus is rumored plus to have leaked the data. Using the perfect infinitive, to have leaked, neatly shows the action was completed in the past, but we don't have to commit to a harsh definitive past tense like he leaked. Now check out the second one. The company plus is thought plus to be restructuring. That continuous infinitive, to be restructuring, beautifully communicates an ongoing action. When you break it down step by step like this, these super sophisticated structures are actually incredibly easy to grasp.
Building on that, we can kind of group these into two distinct styles of strict objective reporting. First up is the personal passive. He is said to be. Notice how the subject of the rumor actually becomes the grammatical subject of our sentence. Then we have the impersonal passive. It is reported that, which brings back our good friend, the impersonal it. Now, both of these are fantastic tools. The personal passive is excellent when you need to keep the focus on the specific entity you're discussing, whereas the impersonal passive is absolutely perfect when you need to distance yourself entirely from the information. Use them together, and you've basically built an impenetrable wall of formal communication.
Next up, Section 4, Error Clinic. Now, mastering this does take some practice. And look, mistakes happen. Let's examine what we call the anatomy of an accusation. Take phrases like, the CEO made a mistake. Fulanito did this wrong. They are currently losing money. If we're just chatting over coffee, totally normal sentences. But in an official corporate audit, those are literal grenades. The big takeaway here is that these everyday sentences trigger massive defensive reactions simply because of their blunt, involuntary active voice. They force the reader to focus entirely on who to blame instead of the process that actually needs fixing. Honestly, when you write like this, you aren't auditing, you're accusing.
So how do we fix it? Well, I'm going to walk you through a foolproof 4-step procedure to completely dismantle an accusation and sanitize it. Step 1, identify your active accusatory verb. Find the word that is doing the damage. Step 2, remove the subjective agent. Take the CEO or Fulanito right out of the driver's seat. Step 3, apply a passive reporting verb. Throw in an is believed or is understood to add that vital layer of professional consensus. And step 4, shift the action to a perfect or continuous infinitive. This places the action perfectly in time without pointing any fingers. Stick to those 4 steps and I promise you can neutralize pretty much any inflammatory statement.
And that brings us to Section 5, the Transformation Challenge. Okay, let's play a little game. I want you to put your senior auditor hat on for a second. Let's say you've just been handed this messy, highly emotional draft report, and you need to fix it on the fly. How would you rewrite this frankly angry email into something suitable for an official audit? Fulanito definitely mismanaged the accounts last quarter. Think back to our 4 steps. We've got an accusatory verb, mismanaged. We have a very specific agent, Fulanito, and we have a completed past action, last quarter. So here's the challenge. Apply your new professional shield to this incredibly risky accusation. How do you say it without actually saying it?
Ready? Here is the incredibly polished, completely bulletproof corporate answer. The accounts are understood to have been mismanaged during the previous quarter. I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? Just look at what we did there. We totally removed the target on Fulanito's back by making the accounts the subject. We dropped in that passive reporting verb, are understood, to show a calm, objective consensus. And finally, we used the perfect infinitive, to have been mismanaged, to accurately record the past failure. Factual accuracy is 100% maintained, but the emotion is completely gone.
So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question to chew on. Have you fortified your professional writing with the ultimate linguistic shield? Or is your blunt, active voice out there leaving you exposed? Remember, mastering this advanced grammar isn't just about checking a box on a C1 exam. It is a vital tool for professional diplomacy. It's about surviving and thriving in really complex corporate environments. Start looking at your emails and your reports not just as words on a page, but as strategic communication. I really hope you're leaving today excited to try out these sophisticated tools the next time you sit down to write. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.